Hey, it's Wolf Daddy, and I am donning the Wolf Daddy apron once again because we got some cooking to do. Today I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with a piece of 2-inch electrical conduit to assist me in making a fun and very inexpensive dog treat that I can show you how to make today. That'll be fun. And then I'm going to be pulling out the crock pot and making up something really fun and special. So hang in there with me, and we'll be right back and get to cooking. So we're going to start off by getting that crock pot set up today. It is absolutely one of my most favorite kitchen utensils. My three favorites being the blender, the crock pot, and the dehydrator. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be using all three of my favorite kitchen utensils in this episode of Wolf Daddy's Kitchen. We're going to start out by creating a meaty bone broth for me and the dogs. This will be the one meal in today's episode that we're going to share, and then the other dog treat that we'll be making in a little bit will be just for the dogs. And this won't be ready until tomorrow, but let's get started. So what I've got here is I've got just a little, almost 6 pounds of oxtail. So that's, if you haven't had oxtail before, that's the cow's tail. And there was a chef, I forgot his name, a really awesome chef I saw on TV. He called it wagon stew. He would make a stew out of the tail because tails wag, so he'd call it wagon stew. But this isn't quite what that's going to be. But it's really meaty bones. So if you can look closely, you can see that there's little bones in this here and there. And so bone broth we know is so good for us, as I've talked in another episode or two. And then I'm going to throw in this chuck pot roast. I'm going to put it all in the crock pot today. And we'll be taking it out tomorrow. But let's go ahead and just get it set up. It's not a big deal. It's something we can do quick and easy because remember, this is for me and the dogs. Now for me, like my dogs, I am about 92% carnivore. And so I don't really think about my food so much about taste. It's really more about nutrition for me, although, of course, I want things that are palatable, but I'm not into lots of herbs and spices all that much. And, of course, neither are our dogs. They don't care about that stuff. But when things smell good, yeah, they're going for it. But even when things go stinky, they go for it. But we're going to make something that's a little bit more palatable for the human because we have far more taste buds than our dogs do. I'm going to go ahead and put some water in the crock. All right, so we'll begin with putting some Himalayan sea salt in there first. I always like using this stuff. And then I've just got this other real kind of mild smoky spice. Doesn't have any MSG, it doesn't have any gluten in it, so and I'm not putting a whole lot in there, just enough to give it a little zing for me. And we'll put in this beautiful pot roast, this nestle it right down there in the water. And then let's go ahead and open up this package. There we go. We'll just put this baby right in there, break it up a bit. All right. A little full. All right, we'll go ahead and put the lid on this. And set our time for 10 hours, which I will probably at the 10-hour mark do it for another 10 hours, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, so it's such a cold and windy day today. It's a lot better than having the snowstorm that we had just like 5 days ago, 6 days ago. Almost all the snow is melted now, but it really did a significant amount of damage. Tree branches broke at my house, my neighbor's home, down the road from me, just from the heavy weight of all that wet snow. So it's cold, and I just want to be inside today and keep the house warm. And one of the ways I'm going to keep the house warm is using, again, one of my favorite kitchen utensils, which not every household has. And maybe one day you can get one, but a food dehydrator. So today, while this crock pot is cooking, we're going to get together and make something fun to put into that dehydrator. And I mentioned, that we're going to make a dog treat with a piece of electrical conduit. Indeed, we are. So I found this piece of electric conduit, and so I went over to my little shop, and I took a measuring tape, and I marked off 1-inch segments on that piece of conduit, and then cut 1-inch thick circles from that conduit. And then I brought them in and did a really thorough scrubbing job. I scrubbed it clean with my sponge on each one of them. I got them nice and clean. Afterwards, I went ahead and soaked them in some bleach water, laid them out to dry. Now I'm going to show you what I did next. I'm going to grab my glue gun and begin to glue these things together. So there you go. Just like that, lickety split. And so we'll see what this is all about in a little bit. But for right now, we'll get to making this dog treat. Sorry about the lighting. It's always changing. You see there's clouds going by, and it seems like every few moments the lighting in here changes, and I can't keep up. So what I've done is I've taken and I've sliced up about 4 pounds of sweet potato. I've made them into fairly large chunks and put them in a pot. I've got that pot on the stove now, and while that's cooking, let's go ahead and take a look at the other ingredients that's going to go into this incredible dog treat that we're going to make together. So here's what I've got. I have got approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds of chicken liver and 3 pounds of calf's liver. I've got 3 cups approximately of wild berries. That's wild blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. I've got 1 apple. I've got 1 lemon. And I've got a couple sprigs of rosemary. So next, what I'm going to do is use my number 3, if it isn't my number 1, favorite tool in the kitchen, and that's my blender. So I'm going to take all these ingredients. I'm going to put the chicken liver in the blender and blend that all up. I'm going to put the calf's liver in the blender and blend it all up. I'm actually going to blend some of the calf's liver and some of the chicken liver together, and then I'm going to throw in the mixed wild berries into the blender along with them, And then I'm going to put also the apple. I'm going to core the apple and drop that in the blender with that lemon and the rosemary and mix it all together in one giant pot. I've blended up all the liver, the calf liver, the chicken liver, with the mixed wild berries, with the apple, with the rosemary, with the lemon. Now the sweet potatoes are fully cooked, and I'm going to drain off the water into the sink. Now I've grabbed my potato masher, and I'm going to mash these sweet potatoes as best as I can. They are mashing up quite easily. All right. Now I'm going to pour a little of my mixture of liver and berries and apple and lemon and rosemary in with this and mash some more. Really get it mashed up good. Mix and mash. Add some more. Just gonna keep mixing and mashing. I see it's a little lumpy. A little lumpier than I would like, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my mixture and run it through the blender one more time, and that'll get rid of all the lumpiness, and it'll be thoroughly mixed. And I let the dogs lick the pot of all the good stuff there. Yummy, yummy. So I'm going to put our mixture right here in the sink. Just like that. Then next what I do is I set up my trays right here over this portion of the sink. Then I've got these nifty Teflon sheets that are going to go right on top of my trays. Just like so. And now this is where this conduit comes in. Check this out. I'm now just going to set, let's see, I'll do it like so. Just going to set this here, just like that. Then I'm just going to take this spoon right here. I think it's I don't know, maybe it's a tablespoon? Doesn't say. We'll see. Scoop that up, drop it right in there. Scoop another one, drop it right in there. Alright, then I'm just going to remove it and move it over here a little bit. Looks like I don't have quite enough room. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill. You can move that over a little bit. Fill. So now I just go put this in the dryer. All right, I'm just gonna keep on filling my little mold until I've got all my trays done and get it into the dryer. Well, I must admit that just doing 9 at a time made me crazy by the second row. So I went out to the shop and I made one that's I got 25, which fills up the whole tray. Much better. Okay, so now I have about 250 of these little cookies in the dryer, and I'm going to set the time now for 10 hours at 160 degrees. And then that should coincide with the pot roast and the oxtail meat and bone broth. And because again, when it hits the 10-hour mark, I'm going to go ahead and hit for 10 hours more. And I may do the same thing on our cookies. I don't know yet because I don't know what they'll be at the 10-hour mark. So once we get at the 10-hour mark, I'll take a peek at them, show you what they look like, and maybe we'll have to turn them over, or maybe they'll be done. We'll see. Well, it's first thing in the morning, and I'm gonna pull out a tray. What I've been doing is pulling these out, then placing them on top of the dryer real quick. Then I flip them over. Then I'm just peeling back the Teflon sheets. And they peel off pretty quick and easy. Now that I've got all of my little biscuits flipped, I will put the door back on, and then I will reset the timer. Oh, okay, 4 hours and 20 minutes that'll work. Okay. So we'll come back in 4 hours and see how that goes. It has been about 14 hours, and this crock pot is now cooling down, and we're ready to see what's next to do with this big old pot roast and this oxtails. So let's get to it, and let me show you what I'm going to do. All right, let's pull the lid. Let's see what's in there. That's a bone with some meat on it. That's a dog. Thinking it's gonna get some of that right now. Let's take a look. So that meat's just gonna peel off those bones really fast. That's good. So there is that big old chunk of meat down in there, which is breaking apart. I'm going to put it right here And this is for Daddy-O. This is for me. And then take some of this broth, baste this thing, get some of that fat in there, all that good fat there. Okay, that's all mine. So I put it in a container, stick it in the fridge. Once it cools off a little bit more. Next is for those doggies. I'm gonna make sure all these bones are meat free. They look like that, and I just throw those in the compost. There's a big one. Got that bone marrow's nice and soft. There's another one. These bones will break down. Oh, look. There's some more of Daddy's meat. He's not giving it all up. There's more for Dad right there. Okay. So now all I'm going to do is scoop out meat and broth and put it in containers. And then what I'll end up doing is making it into a gravy that I put over my dog's food. So what's in the crock pot right now, we'll do one night's gravy for my dogs. And I got 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 nights of gravy. And I could probably even stretch it out to 6 or 7 if I want to water it down a little bit. Depends on how lean we're feeling. But that's the joy of just creating super fast, super easy. I mean, it's not fast. It's simple, and you've got to wait 14 hours. So it's about planning ahead. And since we've got that broth situation taken care of, you know, I made a little boo-boo this afternoon. When I took the cookies off the Teflon sheets, I rolled up those sheets and set them right beside the dryer for a minute, and then forgot. So a certain someone who will be left nameless, poo head. Yeah, you. Yeah. Dork. Yeah, he took them outside and decided to clean them for me. I had taken a couple and brought them in on the counter to clean, and he decided he would do the rest. And I'm hoping he didn't swallow any of that, because I think he's done it one other time when I wasn't looking. But anyway, so we've had our cookies in the dryer for about 14 hours. And we yielded about 250 of these babies. This isn't even all of them. And I can tell you what, my dogs are in love with these cookies. And your dogs are going to love them too. And they're going to love you even more, because you've made Wolf Daddy's liver and sweet potato wild berry chips. Because you know, Wolf Daddy just sort of makes it up as he goes. And but I knew that I could make them looking pretty good and like chips with our magical electrical conduit. So, hey folks, if you liked my video and you want to see some more of this fun stuff, be sure to subscribe. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Click on the bell, and you'll see when Wolf Daddy's got something else going on. And thank you so much for sharing your time with me. So be sure to stay safe, stay well out there, keep your social distancing, and do something fun while in lockdown, and make some great dog treats. I'll leave a little bit smaller of a recipe down below in the description, and I want you to have a great time. Thank you. Share, share, share. Love you. Meet you back in the kitchen. So we yielded about... Hey, come on, guys.